Have you ever had to fight one of your friends in a competition? Welcome to Beauty and the Gi, the podcast about Jiu-Jitsu and so much more. I'm Jen Eads, a blue belt full of curiosity and questions about Jiu-Jitsu and so much more.
I almost interrupted you.
I know.
Before you had more questions.
More. Always more. I'm extra today.
I'm AJ Klingerman, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, obsessed with Jiu-Jitsu.
If you are new to the podcast, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Little jazz hands, welcome. If you're watching
I missed my jazz hands. I haven't had enough caffeine yet.
If you are new, we have a starter pack for you. You can find it in Spotify. That's probably the easiest place to find your starter pack, since most people seem to listen to us on Spotify. That's where it is. There's a playlist. Links to the intro welcome starter kit are in the description. You'll find them there. Click on it. Give it a listen. Have you ever had to fight one of your friends?
Yes. Have you?
Yeah, I fought people that I've trained with.
This is the moment you find out you're not friends with Jen.
No, that's not what I meant.
I'm just saying, that's how it came across.
And you know what? I'm just not even going to edit that. We're just going to leave that there because that's the way it's going. Yes, they're my friends. But I mean, just also they're people, if I haven't had to fight Jennifer, who is my main training partner. Yeah. But thinking back to white belt when I did actually compete, yes, I would sometimes fight against people that I trained with or that I would consider friends. But it's been a while. I haven't competed since shortly after I got my blue belt.
Okay, so you have at least competed at blue.
I have one time. One time. And what happened that day is I would have had to have gone against Jennifer, but there was a woman there that was working the tournament who also happened to be a blue belt. So they created separate brackets for us.
Nice. Which
she beat both of us. And that was the day Jennifer actually got choked out.
Oh, so, yeah. I mean, you've fared better than that, at least.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wake-up call competing at blue belt, though.
Woo! But yeah, the only waters that are deeper than blue belt are black belt. So you both were brand new blue belts competing.
Yeah.
You'd probably fare better now.
Probably. I'm going to stay very positive and say yes. We probably would.
Yeah. You might know a little more jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah, she might not get choked out.
Maybe not.
Maybe. No, probably still would happen.
All right. So you fought teammates before. How has it gone?
Well, I've lost every time.
Okay. Were you still able to be friends afterwards?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they beat me all the time. Not that it's beating or winning or losing, but yeah, I get beat up by them all the time. So why would that be any different, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So this kind of was sparked from our friend Katie posting about it in a couple of the women's groups. And then I sent out an email to the role models about it. And, I kind of have some opinions on it, and Risser has some very different opinions on it. And
gosh, I wish she was here.
I know, I do too. I always wish she's with me though. So it's just how it is.
Yeah.
So kind of my outlook, especially as women, we often don't have as many people to compete against.
Right.
So I think all of my beginning tournaments, I was only fighting my teammates. Maybe you'd get one random girl from another state that drove in because there aren't tournaments around. I've been doing it a long time, guys. But it was always I was fighting my teammates. Later on, it was that I'm fighting, you do make a lot of friends along the way on the road to black belt. So I have fought friends before. I think, like Rachel, she would never fight me. She just wouldn't. Obviously she's my coach too. But, for me, I personally am yeah, let's go. I don't care. Because I know that if I lose, we're still friends.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of what the conversation has to be around.
Yeah.
Because my opinion is, yes, let's do this. It's good experience for both of us, right? It's one step away from the gym and into competition. It might help you both knock the nerves off or send it, really go after your game plan. And so for me, I have all positive thoughts about it. And I think a lot of our team does as well. I think I don't think there's anyone in the gym that couldn't fight another person in the gym and be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
But some people can't handle losing. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I might be mad for a minute.
Well, yeah, that's you in class.
Did I just get called out on the podcast
On your
that I
own
show up?
podcast?
I sure did. That's okay. It's true.
But I mean, you know, like, and it's not that you're mad at them. It's
Right.
that you're frustrated with yourself, right?
Exactly. That's always what it comes down to, at least for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just highlight it for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, friend.
Thanks for pointing that
Thanks
out.
for showing me my weaknesses and flaws.
But I don't know. Rissa was telling us right before we did the podcast, reminding me that there was a tournament where there was we were running the tournament, right? And there was a woman that didn't have anyone to compete against. And so Rissa went and got dressed and competed against her. And their relationship wasn't ever the same, you know?
That makes me sad.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And like I had I think we've talked about it before, but like I fought a woman years ago in no-gi worlds and we were friends up until that point. And I just won the ref decision. It wasn't like I murdered her or, you know, like I wasn't rude in any way, but it's true. Like we never really recovered after that. So this podcast really took a turn from how I was originally planning it.
Makes for a good podcast.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It can happen sometimes if whether we want to think we have an ego or not. Sometimes our ego gets in the way. You know, I did fight a friend once. We were staying in the same house at Worlds. We were not teammates, just friends.
Yeah.
And she cried for a very long time after I beat her. And that's because she didn't think that I should be able to beat her, right? And the thing is, who knows? Maybe 99 out of 100 times she does beat me. I don't know. That one time I got her. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's the only time we've competed against each other. So who could say? But she was not expecting that. And I think that was, you know, her ego really thought like that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And I think for us, maybe it helped that we weren't close in the way that like teammates and see each other. Like, you know, on Monday after the tournament, if we had to train together, I don't know how she would have reacted. But the fact that I didn't see her for a couple more months, it was fine. It was like no big deal at all.
Do you think if you are especially competing like against one of your teammates or maybe somebody from another team, but you're really good friends, should you have some kind of conversation before, like set expectations or?
I don't know. I mean,
or just register like, boop, here I am.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, again, we are women in jiu-jitsu, right? We are probably making friends with people in our brackets.
You are. For sure.
Yeah. And maybe, you know, maybe we're not really talking much before the match, but like afterwards, we're probably like exchanging social media or, you know, like in some way we're becoming friends. Sometimes, you know, like Jess, I wasn't friends with her before I competed against her. Jess Sunier, she choked me unconscious the first time I met her. And now we're friends, right?
Right. Because that's just how it works.
Exactly. So, but if you were fighting your friend, you know, you might be like, hey, I see it's just us in the bracket, you know, like, have fun. I don't know. I think that you're registered for a tournament. There's kind of an understanding.
Right. Yeah, that you're going to show up with your A game. And do you think that sometimes holds people back from showing up? Like, oh, I don't want to go out there and be super aggressive or which we're going to talk about the difference between aggressive and assertive in the next episode. So make sure that you are subscribed if you haven't already.
Yes. I do think that happens, especially when you know that the person you're fighting might struggle afterwards, right? If you know that their ego is a little more delicate, or you know that, you know, you are better, or you think you are at least, like I could see you holding back. But you also have to be prepared that they might not.
Yeah.
So, you might go, oh, well, I'm going to hold back. I don't want to like murder them. Like, that's not necessary. And then they come out and they come after you. You better be prepared, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think sometimes it can make us more reserved.
I think a lot of it too just depends on the dynamics of that friendship, because we can say, well, it's been this way for us, but like the next friendship is going to be completely different. There's so many different dynamics, I think, and things at play, but don't let that, I wouldn't want to see that hold somebody back from registering to compete.
Yeah. I think, there are women in small towns all across the world.
All across America.
Right? That's their only choice, right? That they're going to fight their friend or they don't fight. So that kind of has to be the decision, right? Like, are we going to get in the competition experience? Are we using this as a catalyst to help us go to a bigger tournament like EPANs or Worlds or something like that? Like that it can be good practice. So in that case, maybe it is a conversation. Like, hey, we know probably we're going to be the only two. Should we register?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a conversation of like, I don't want to spend $100 to fight the girl I fight every day in class.
That's a very valid conversation.
It is a valid conversation from a coach perspective. So long as I think everybody's ego can handle it, I think do it. Like if you can financially do it, do it. Because it will be different. When you're in class, probably no one's coaching you, most likely, right?
Or today you were coached against. But we'll work through that.
We're going to need a podcast therapist. I did. I coached against Jen.
It was really good for me, though.
It is good,
It was
right?
really good for me.
Yeah. We have a girl getting ready to compete, and she needs to be able to recognize my voice and do the things I tell her to. But yeah, so actually getting out there and competing, then you're trying to pick your coach's voice out of the crowd, right? There's a lot of people yelling. They're yelling at the mat next to you. It's just different. So I recognize that you're like, oh, I fight this girl every day in class. I don't want to pay $100 to do so. But that's not the experience that you're paying for. You're not paying just for the experience of the time on the mat. It's everything around that. The nerves of doing it in front of people.
Right.
And,
What about the question of, well, they already know my game?
that is possible.
Do you think it matters that much? Because I think about somebody like Rachel Casillas. You're just going to get like everybody knows you're going to get triangled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does it really matter?
I mean, here's the thing. Can most people pull off their game as well as Rachel? No.
Well, I mean, there's that. I mean, whatever. She's kind of good.
Right. So here's the thing. Sometimes it matters. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it really matters in the end because most people aren't as clean cut with their game, right? Things change. Reactions change. You may know they always go for this sweep. I'm not going to allow that sweep. I'm going to shut down that sweep. But maybe they do have a little bit of a backup. They've never tried to go this way and it throws you off. Well, I didn't expect you to go in that direction. Or I thought you were going to pass to this side and you started passing the other way. I wasn't ready for that. Right. Yeah. So it matters and it really doesn't.
Well, because the flip side of that is their game.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's pretty even.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of balances out.
Yeah. And you can change it up a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm going to guess that not every round that you do in the gym with them is the exact same. So why would the tournament be exactly the same?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. They just might surprise you with something too.
That's right.
You never know.
Never know.
So we're saying compete against your friends if you can.
Yeah.
Is that
I think so. I think if both your egos can handle it, if you can afford to compete, all of that, I think do it. I think it can be a really good experience for you.
Do you talk to them the day of, before?
Yeah, I mean, we're still friends.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the whole, plan the whole scenario, plan the whole day out in my head.
I think your vibe for competition stays your vibe for competition, right? What I mean by that is some people need to be in their headphones, just stretching on their own, running around, warming up, whatever. Some people just need to joke and laugh and make it like any other day kind of thing. So I think whatever your vibe is, and honestly, I think test that out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is another good reason to get out there and fight your friend, because you might think, I know someone that thinks or thought that their vibe was, I just want to be alone. I want to be, I just want to listen to my music. And then they recognized that when they just had fun and just hung out with their friends, that their nerves weren't as bad.
Interesting.
So figure out what works best for you.
That's a good idea.
Sometimes it's watching the matches that are ahead of you, so you can kind of think like, what would I do there? And sometimes that makes you way more nervous. So you just have to kind of figure it out. And that's another good reason to just get out there and do it, whether it's your friend or not.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So long as you're not going to lose a friend in the process.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If you lose them, though, are they really your friend? Is that another episode?
I mean, I think that if they're not willing to try and work it out with you afterwards, maybe not. But also, we don't know what they're going through. That's their own battle. That's their own ego. I can't say this person was never my friend because of how they reacted. I just think that's on them. Their reaction, I don't have anything to do with that. If that's how they react, I'm sad about it. I do feel the loss of it, but I wouldn't feel like, I guess we were never friends to begin with. I don't think you discount the relationship you had before that.
Yeah, I'd probably be like, whatever.
Like, guess we weren't friends.
I guess, okay, womp womp.
I'd be like, well, I used to be friends with that girl, but then I beat her, and then now we're not friends. So, sorry to hear that.
Oh, very different.
Always. That's what makes us good co-hosts, right?
I guess so. Speaking of competition, we have added a new segment to the podcast talking about IBJJF rules. And is there anything that we need to go back and revisit before we get into the rule for the day?
Last time we talked about advantages, and one thing I didn't talk about is if you pass somebody's guard and they get to turtle, right? So you're passing and they directly go to turtle, that is an advantage for you. There's not really a count started from the passing standpoint, but you did force them to turtle, so that would be an advantage.
Cool.
Yeah. And then today we're going to talk about uniforms.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. And really the answer I'm going to say is check out IBJJF.com and read the uniform rules. I'll give you the overall, though. It does have to be a black, blue, or white Federation approved gi. So you'll, like when you buy one from Fuji, it'll say that it is an IBJJF legal gi. And that's because like the weight and all of that has to be precise. The weave, all of it. They're very particular, and they've gotten way more particular in the last year. So if you competed a few years ago and you haven't recently, $100 says you're gonna have to get a new gi. Yeah. We all had to get new competition gis. So, yeah. Your belt and your gi cannot be frayed in any way. Men cannot wear a rash guard underneath. Women can, and it does not matter what the underneath rash guard is. So you can wear like the graffiti chaos one or something, like it doesn't matter. So that's the gi stuff. Obviously you can't have any metal on your body, piercings, hair barrettes, braces like on your knee or something like that. For no gi, first of all, only blue belts and above can do no gi, but it is, your rash guard needs to have at least 10% of the color of your belt. Can be 100%. So you can wear a fully blue rash guard, or you can wear a blue and black or blue and white. So white and black are the only other options, and then it needs 10% of the color of your belt. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shorts or spats are the same. It needs to be black or white shorts with at least 10% of the color of your belt, or it can be solid. You can wear solid blue. I think. I'm pretty sure on that part.
What about under the gi? Does it have to be a full rash guard, or can you wear like sports bra?
So I think as of right now, you can still wear a sports bra. They've really gone back and forth about that a lot. I highly recommend, if a sports bra is a little more your vibe, wear a singlet. Even if you wear a rash guard, I highly recommend a singlet, because
I love my singlet.
I do too. I never have to worry about my butt crack showing. I don't have to worry about my rash guard riding up or my pants falling down. It's the reason I feel like the worst for the men competing is they can't wear a singlet, right?
Yeah.
They have to be bare chest. Rar. Rar. But yeah, so I think you can wear a sports bra. I haven't really kept up on that rule because that's not something I have done or would choose to do.
Yeah.
I don't see any, like, I'm perfectly fine with it. However, I definitely have seen boobs pop out in competition. Mm-hmm. So also the spats, if you wear spats under your gi, they cannot be ankle length. So you cannot be able to see your spats under your gi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about no gi?
No gi, you can wear ankle length spats.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You just can't in the gi. It's weird, but it's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There we have it then.
Yeah. Do you have tips for on and off the mat?
I think I'm going to go off the mat this week, staying with our theme of competition and friends. And if you need to have that conversation before, whether you're competing in jiu-jitsu or some other thing, I was told, you're going to be shocked. Beth told me this week that sometimes she doesn't like to play games with me because I'm too competitive.
So
really,
can we back up on this conversation for just a second? So, are you a sore loser when you play games?
sometimes I get frustrated. I feel like I'm getting better though, because we played this marble game that we play with my mom and dad on New Year's Eve, and you have to draw a face card to get out of home so you can start moving around the board. And I was stuck there forever, like the whole game. So we lost. Did I let it ruin my night? No, I did not. I thought that was progress.
That is progress. Mm-hmm. That is progress. Also, please don't let a game ruin your night. That's so sad.
I know. That would have been so sad. There have been times, though.
Okay, the next question is, are you a sore winner? Are you like a haha in your face kind of?
No, unless Beth's been talking a lot of smack to me over the course of the game, then maybe a little bit. But,
yeah, but
no,
Lauren.
I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm going to try not to be.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's not that you're a bad winner, just like when you lose,
I'm frustrated with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a game.
But I derive all of my self-worth from it. No, I don't really.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at losing.
I am also very competitive when I play games, but genuinely, I think I don't mind losing. I just really like winning.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But for me, I don't care if I lose. I'm so happy we played. I love to play games, but I do really like to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in. We want to hear about your thoughts on competing with your friends, your teammates. Have you ever not competed because you didn't want to go against them? Or have you competed and then it didn't turn out well? Or maybe you have a really great story that you're even better friends now. Connect with us on Instagram. We're at Beauty and the Gi Podcast. I'm hanging out there at Brassy Broad Jen. You can leave a comment on the episode or take a screenshot, share the episode, and tag us.
Also, episode 210, we're going to do an Ask Us Anything. So if you have a question for that episode, please title your message or, start it out with for the Ask Us Anything, and then let us know if you'd like us to use your name in that as well, or if you'd like to be anonymous. But yeah, we're going to do an Ask Us Anything episode coming up, episode 210.
All right. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and you can find me at AJ Klingerman pretty much everywhere you go. If TikTok is still around, I am roll_model.
All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the mat. Beauty and the Gi is a production of the Brassy Broadcasting Company.
And brought to you by Role Model Grappling.